Well, hey everybody, welcome back to segment 2 of Relentless Talk Radio. I'm here with Katonna Snooks. Katonna, am I saying your name right?
Katonna.
Yeah, I thought I was right, but I wasn't quite sure.
Right.
I want to say Katona because it has an O in there, but you know, I talk to so many people every week. I get to learn. I get to learn how to say everybody's name. So tell everybody who you are and like what you do.
Hi, everybody. My name is Katonna. I am 56 years old. I've been in Scottsdale since 1983. I've been a hair designer, hair architect, hair wizard for 35 years in business for myself, and I began identity coaching 5 years ago. Anything else? And I have
That's super cool. You know, I've always known you to be a stylist, and you have like the best hair on the planet, just naturally. It just drives me crazy. Like, no matter what color it is, it's always fantastic. And I've watched you do the coaching piece kind of directly and indirectly. You know, we didn't talk about this in the past, but you actually have a mentor. Do you like to talk about that person?
Sure. I have a couple mentors, most specifically Tony Robbins for sure.
Yeah.
I've been trained under Tony Robbins since 2004. I've been to 10 different events. I'm a mastery graduate, and I've walked on fire 7 times.
Hey! It's on my bucket list, quite frankly, to
awesome.
to go to Fiji. I want to go to Fiji. I just call me crazy, and I know that Tony's not going to be. I've seen him a couple times, but not the full blown thing. I've seen him here in Phoenix a couple times.
You got to do it in this lifetime. It's worth it.
It's on my list of stuff to do. He is huge.
Yeah.
Like he's
6'7". His hands are this big.
I got lucky to stand right beside him, like right in front of him. Like I got the front row in the second section, and he always stands in the second section. And I got to literally, he was like, I could have grabbed onto his leg, but he's just humongous. So I love that you're doing that. So you're also a bikini competitor.
Yes, I started last year, began training in June. My first competition at 55 years old was in September, and I've done 3 competitions since September, and I'm on to my 4th, November 9th.
So you're doing, has it always been NPC? Has it always been, all 4 have been NPC?
I've chosen to do NPC. It's easy. It's local for me. It's a local one that I can do.
Yeah.
We compete in Mesa, so it just costs a lot to travel too. Plus, I have careers that I'm doing.
Right. You have children and that kind of stuff. So why the bikini thing? Because I did my first competition. I'm doing OCB, which is not local, but there's local representation here. So why the bikini thing? Where'd that come from?
This story is so crazy. I'll try to keep it short. I had a longtime friend of 30 years that committed suicide.
Wow.
I just couldn't shake. I went to the funeral and I didn't know it was suicide until several months later. I mourned the loss of my friend. I found out later the exact details, and I relived the whole thing all over again. But I also went back to, he came and basically said goodbye to me. I also did his hair for almost 30 years, and he basically came in and was saying goodbye to me. And I just didn't know it at the time. I knew he wasn't in a good space, and I just said, if you need anything, whatever. Anyway, after the second round of mourning this loss, I just was eating. And I was crunching and eating. I'm like, this is not going well. Right. So I decided, I need to get some accountability. I'm not able to conquer this on my own. So I hooked up with an old mate of mine from a men's zone where I trained, and he had been a meal prep for me in the past to do just a personal challenge, just to get the edge. I worked with him on a meal prep plan. So I'm like, hey Nick, I got to get back on track here. So we started my journey getting back on track, and I snapped right back to in 6 weeks because my body knew it, and I was feeling great. And so I decided, I was at Premier Fitness Systems at the time, and they were having a summer special on training. I'm like, you know what, this is going really well. As Tony has taught me, I'm in a really great state. I'm going to amp up that state. I'm just going to fine tune some more training, work on my scoliosis and my posture and structural stuff and whatever. So I hooked up with the training. Well, then I was doing an ice bath up there. I invited one of my men's zone trainers that I had trained with as well. He likes doing it. So Omar came up there. He said, girl, you look awesome. You should do a bikini competition. And I literally was like, oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. And what was really funny? I'm not kidding. I left that day and a seed was planted. And I literally drove away like, oh, I wonder. So I called Nick, who has competed, and he's a competitor. And I said, what do you think about that? And I talked thoroughly to him about it. And I said, all right, I'll get back to you on that. I always like to leave space for God. I give things at least 24 to 48 hours because it gives room for God to come in and tell me what he thinks about all of this plan of mine. So, it was really interesting. This is a true story. I gave it to God for 2 days. What do you think? And every time I just looked up and opened my arms, we're doing it, girl. We're doing it, girl. I'm like, I don't know what this means, but okay. But that's faith. Faith is
Yeah.
the unknown and the not seen. And I didn't know what was out there for me. I just knew that God was pulling me in a direction to do this. And I just had one question in my mind. How am I going to resolve my booty out to the judges on stage in this
Well, it
big
was
thing?
daunting. I mean, like, I shared my bikini picture, like just the bikini, and I had so many people private message me going, "Oh my God, that is so tiny." And you know what? It really is. I mean,
Yes.
it's this big. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I'm like, this is not going to happen. And you know what? I have great faith. And I said, God, we're going to work it out. So let me tell you something. The journey unfolded, and boy, did I learn what God had for me. It wasn't just one thing, it was probably 5 big things. And it's been worth every squat, every lat pull, every pull up, every pump,
You
every.
do like a bunch of videos. Like I like to stalk you on Facebook a little bit. Yeah, but we're stalking each other. So your stuff comes up on my feed, mine comes up on yours. You're doing a lot of video, which I think is pretty cool.
I love sharing my journey. I'm just such a believer in it. It's all about the journey and enjoy. I posted this yesterday. Enjoy the journey. It's not about the destination. The
It
destination.
really isn't.
It's
Because you know what? You're on stage for 5 minutes.
yes.
It really isn't about it. It's not about the competition.
No, no. And it's who you become in the process. And, I always say too, show up and give it 100 every single time. Have your standards high. Expect nothing less of yourself than those high standards. And don't go in and out with your emotions every day about how you feel about it today. Decide what you're after. Set your standards. Have your standards and hold them. Don't just have like a mood for the day or a mood for the week. Have a standard that you stick to, that you own. So every time, I don't care what's going on in my life, my standard is here. I walk through that. When my hand hits that door at Premier Fitness, game on. I am in state, ready to go, 100% every time.
Oh, that's really awesome. So what's the biggest lesson been? Has that been the biggest lesson, to be in state? Which is
Oh, oh
Tony
no.
Robbins thing, like
Oh
definitely
my
be in state.
gosh. I have so many things I could share. We don't have enough time. Maybe I come back another time.
Yeah.
I had so many moments, and I will share. This moment was amazing. My first show, I'm standing on the side, and I'm like, why am I not nervous? This is so weird. And it literally was like a Holy Spirit, like, take over me, like, girl, this is your walk of triumph. You have mastered your body, your heart, your mind, your soul, all of it. I have been through so much since 18 years old, doing this adulting thing, and conquered so many things and pushed through so many things, and just keep on pushing through. And this is your walk of triumph, girl. It isn't about the stage, it's about your platform. And my platform is honestly to show people their possibles. It's not about your age, it's not about what happened to you and your circumstances. You can push through and get to the other side and rise above all of it. And so that was a moment I had. I was like, wow, this is my moment of triumph right here. It is my walk of triumph, and I have mastered my body, my mind, my soul, all of it. And I just strutted out there, like, so proud of myself for all I have become. And so that was one thing. The second thing I was not prepared for. This was a little side curtain that blew over me. I have a Me Too story, and I am really great. And I didn't know there was a little tail left of that little deal. And in bikini, you do need to have a little bit of swag, and it's a little bit sexual in a way. But
Of
but
course it is.
but
You're gonna flip a bikini.
but
Yeah.
but the sexuality is about the relationship with yourself, which is another piece for me. But the Me Too piece, wow, was I struggling with these turns where, you know, you turn and you're like sticking your booty out or whatever. But it's not about sticking your booty out. It is about showing your athletic poise and stance and your development and your physique of what you've built. But I had an internal emotional piece of that I had to work through. It just was that internal, the Me Too sexual piece, you know, it was very, very, and I'm being very candid right now. And it was tough. It was rough. And it has taken me all 4 shows to get to a place where I am internally calm with all of that stuff. And I don't feel any sort of like magnets, you know, like this magnet was kind of pulling me the other way. And it was really, really hard for me to, I'm saying this, I hope you all understand. Like when you're on stage and you have this character and you have this little sexual swag, it's about your relationship with yourself and moving your body. It's not sexual, but it's sexual in a clean kind of a way with your relationship with your body, with yourself. And to be able to, you know, be in those positions and be okay with my booty was really, really tough for me. It was really, really,
You know,
really.
it's funny. As you're talking, there's 2 things. The piece about age, we'll come back to.
Yeah.
Also, the piece about I recently had a girlfriend who knows me as, like, you know, my financial advisor days. You know, she knows me as, you know, sober woman of dignity and grace. You know, I've always been very careful about how I put my sexuality out there on
Exactly.
social media because of the judgment, right?
Yeah.
And
Yes.
so I recently did a couple photo shoots that I think you saw. And it was, and I've done some photo shoots in the past, embracing my sexuality in a way that is unapologetic.
Yes.
And I think that some people think that having that mindset means that you are not shy, that you're totally out there, that you haven't got, you know, and you know, you and I are purely, you know, of course you're shy, but at the same time,
Yeah.
I have my picture taken, and contrary to popular belief, with pictures all over Facebook, right? But I know that stepping into my own skin powerfully is a powerful example for other women.
Yes.
And
Yeah, it was
that's the reason why I do it. Because I think that we're so busy apologizing for our sexuality because you don't want to be ditzy, you don't want to be, you know, too soft. And so I've always had this struggle between my strong intellectual person and my smart, strong person and my strong sexual person. And this past couple of years, I've tried to pull all those people together.
exactly.
And
That's how I feel.
they're all me.
Yeah. So, you know, that was kind of a lesson in all of this. It really pulled all my pieces together, and I didn't realize that there was a little piece over there with that I have been careful with my sexuality. Like, I don't like to be all provocatively in public. It just scared me. And so I had to find a space with this bikini persona that was classy and professional and okay for myself, where it didn't display something inappropriate, because I am 56 and I'm not doing this, hey, look at me. It's not about, hey, look at me. This is hard ass training, people.
Oh, yeah. Well, that was the other thing. As I was standing backstage for the first time, I was definitely nervous because I didn't feel that that my legs had the conditioning they needed to have yet.
Yeah.
However, at the same time, I realized that I belonged in the pack of women that I was standing with, and they were true athletes.
Yeah.
And I was reminded of my own athleticism in a way that I haven't remembered since when I was a gymnast and a swimmer when I was back in high school and early years of college, you know. And it's really changed the trajectory of my business and what I'm focusing on, personally and professionally. So it's an interesting. You can't help but, you know, change when you're in a tiny bikini like that, I think.
Yeah. So for me, at the end of it all, in the big story, I would sum it all up in. I mean, it like chokes me up, honestly.
Yeah.
My relationship with myself.
Yeah.
My relationship with myself. I
Yeah.
like myself, and I love myself, and I've come to a space and a place to appreciate me. I'm a lot. I'm super intelligent. I'm super sassy. I'm lots of stuff. You know.
You're super high energy. Yay! I love that about you.
But, you know,
Yeah.
really helped me embrace who I am and just how God made me. And it's okay, just the way God made me. And
Yeah.
he gave me courage. And somebody said to me last week, one of my clients, wow, girl, brave. That's the word she said, brave, to be my age and be out on that stage doing what I'm doing. It is no joke.
Oh yeah,
And
and you're standing there with and our division is 40 plus, so you can have, you have women on stage who are 16 years younger than you.
So
It's like significant.
I have this whole new respect for myself.
Yay.
And I don't look over my shoulder what people think of me anymore. And I used to just be like, oh, please like me, because my background and my story, it's
Yeah.
Everybody wants to be loved, everybody wants to be liked, and you want to be enough. And I want to feel like I'm enough. And you know what? This whole experience, I am enough. And
Oh,
I am
more than
fine.
enough. Absolutely.
And I'm fine, and I'm great just the way that I am. And I always say, if people don't want to watch me, then don't. If you don't want to watch my story, then unfollow me. I don't really care.
Yeah.
I want to share. It's kind of like Tony talks about the 7-minute mile. Well,
Yeah.
it's the 4-minute mile now. Why? Because somebody did it.
Yeah.
Somebody did it. Once you see it and someone did it and it's in your brain. So I want to be that is my just such a joy to post things for people to see what's possible, and my excitement and my happiness and joy in doing it, and to be able to move and feel free in your body, your mind, and your soul and your spirit all in
I
one.
don't know where the age limit came with sexuality either, or being sexy, because honestly, I grew up in an Italian culture, and I'm really grateful. Like, this whole ageism thing to me is like, that's interesting, because I had aunts and my mother who taught me to do the best you have with what God gave you, and to carry yourself with pride and dignity no matter what, at whatever age you are. Now my godmother, my mother, and my aunts are all, and my cousins who are 10 years older than I am, we all are, confident in our skin. You know what I mean? When my weight goes up, of course, I'm not as confident. And so just like yourself, I have to stay on track. It keeps me on track, right? So what would you say the over topic for today is about patience? What would you say? Would you say patience is a virtue?
Absolutely. And we do a process in one of the mastery programs with Tony, and you get very clear on your virtues and values. And patience is a virtue for me, which is basically holding a high moral standard. I do believe that is a high moral standard to hold that. And the reason that I say that is you need patience to have mastery. If you just want to be a dabbler, you are not patient. People that dabble a little bit here, a little bit there, they become a master of nothing. You
Right.
have to be patient. This bikini process, it's very slow. You have to work the muscle, rest the muscle, work the muscle, rest the muscle, work the diet, work the muscle, rest the muscle. It takes time. And you have to be able to enjoy the journey, be in the moment, give it 100, stay present, be committed, don't fall off, stay on, keep your focus, keep your clarity. Clarity is power. Be clear on what you're doing every day. Have a schedule, have a plan. Patience is everything.
You guys all believe in a thing called easy does it, but do it.
Yeah. Patience is everything.
Too patient, right? You're getting ready to get ready a lot. And I can fall into that hole sometimes as well. I'm getting ready to get ready. I'm taking it too easy. And I have to snap myself out of it sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah. So I would say the biggest thing that comes to my mind is I love mastering something. I want to have mastery in my life. It just feels really great to have a high standard of mastery. If your standard is dabbling, it doesn't feel very good. It's pretty mediocre. But to actually dig into something and feel like you've mastered it, and maybe my mastery isn't at your level. It all depends on who we are and what we have and who we're made. But it takes patience to master something. You have to be willing to put in the time and the due diligence and whatever it takes. Maybe you need to go get mentoring or some help from somebody, whatever it is that you get more resources to get to where you want to be. You don't just show up. You're not just fit and you walk on a stage. You're not just thin and you walk on a stage. It's not about thin. It's not about fit. It is about being thin and fit, but it's not about thin. It's not about fit.
Yeah.
There's a certain shape that's required. There's posing that's required, which I knew nothing about. That was a whole nother thing. I had.
Like I got choked up a little bit with my posing. I did better on practicing than I did in the stage.
It's really difficult.
I got a little flustered. You know what I mean? Plus, I
almost gave up this whole journey because of the posing.
Yeah.
I could not do it. And one day I was at Premier Fitness practicing. I'm like, oh, I just can't. I can't. But I have a standard.
Yeah.
I can't. And when I say I can't, Tony taught me, I must.
Right.
When I say I can't, I must.
Yeah.
So I said I can't. I'm like, girl, did you just say you can't? I said I can't. I'm like, yeah, then you must. I'm like, all right. Well, if I must do this, then my brain went to, resource of how do you eat a 1,000,000-pound elephant? One bite at a time. I'm like, oh, that's right. Break it down. One step at a time.
An example of patience, because there's a lot of bites in an elephant.
There's back to the patience. It's a virtue. You know, you if you want to master posing, you better be freaking patient, because it is a process. You don't just step into posing and you're like a bomb. It just doesn't work. There's positions that are required, and you want to be in your best position at that best moment. And
yeah. And there are people with the judges. It was a big lesson for me. So are you training people right now?
I always train on the side. People ask me for help, and my heart, my gift and my heart, I love helping people with their bodies, but most importantly, I like helping them with their minds, as we've talked about.
Yeah.
You know, the 80-20 principle, 80% mental, 20% mechanics. I believe you can put anyone in a gym and you can teach them stuff, and they can do all the mechanics and learn these moves and get stronger. But if your brain takes you out, if your belief system takes you out, if your thought process takes you out, if your language takes you out, if your physical state takes you out, you don't know how to hold a high state in your brain, you're not going to do what you want to do. You're going to lose it. So lots of people work out, quit. Start the New Year's resolution, quit. Start, quit, dabble. Start, quit.
So can people PM you on Instagram or Facebook if they want to work with you?
Yeah. So I have developed. I've developed a beautiful, simple plan. I work very quick. I haven't had anyone longer than 6 weeks. I work from 2 weeks to 6 weeks. Boom, 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 boom. And my acronym is FLY NOW. FLY is first love you. Now is new opportunities waiting. And we must first love ourselves with new opportunities waiting for you. And that's kind of my little jingle. When you come with me, let's fly now. And I take people, I just got goosebumps.
I just love the acronym.
Just, come fly now, baby. I will teach you really quickly. I work fast. I use momentum, and I will get you out of, I don't care who you are, what age you are, little, big, man, woman, whatever it is you do for a living, whatever age you are, whatever problem you have, trust me, I can help you. The only thing I don't do is if you have business issues and you need to work on your business income. I don't do business income stuff, but if you want to mentally get self-empowered and fly now and make a shift in your physical state, I'm your girl.
Looking forward to hanging out with you again. We're going to make a plan on training together. I'll be in the audience on November 9th, cheering both you and potentially another girlfriend of mine who's going to be in the show too. So
you're welcome to come. It's in Mesa at the Performing Arts Center.
And on November 9th, right? Now, what time does it start?
They've changed it to one-day shows, so the award presentation is at night, usually around 7:30. You can look it up. NPC. Felicia Romero is the name of the show.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'll see you. Hopefully, I'll see you before then. But I'll wave at you you'll be able to see me because of the lights. But I'll be waving out there and cheering you on. Thanks for coming on Relentless Talk Radio today. I look forward to hanging out with you soon. Super exciting.
Thank you.
Have a good rest of your day. Okay, everybody, I'm going to go scoop up Max Anderson from Picnic Tree Productions and ask him to come on back for segment 2, and we'll be right back with Relentless Talk Radio's last segment today. See you later, Katonna.
Bye. Mwah.